Well, hello there. About a week ago, maybe a little more, I saw Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol, and I really quite loved it. I think I have no problems giving it a 9. I thought it was thrilling entertainment. Really didn't miss a beat. Let's see, it's the 4th Mission Impossible film. The Mission Impossible films, at least for 2 and 3, I can remember seeing them in the theater. I've seen all of them in the theater. But I know I rented them at least once when they came out on DVD, but that's it. I don't think I really saw them more than twice. The first one I saw in the theater, I think twice, and actually bought the VHS. So I quite enjoyed the first one. And I guess, the 4th one is better, the best one, but the first one, of course, I saw when I was, I believe, in high school. So it, has that, golden aura of nostalgia to it. So it is kind of tough to beat, but I really, really, really like the 4th one, and I could tell it's probably the best one. It had everything. It had everything in the kitchen sink. It's about an impossible mission. The IMF is framed for a global terrorist act, basically the destruction of the Kremlin. So the IMF is disavowed, powerful people are assassinated, and it's up to Tom Cruise and I believe, 3 other people to save the world. So again, it's just basically action-packed popcorn entertainment. But really here, there was a lot going on for your brain, which is kind of odd for an action film, I think. There was plenty to think about, plenty to appreciate. Let's see, okay, it stars Tom Cruise, Edgar Wright, who else? Ving Rhames, who I was so very happy to see. Who else? I can't remember the lady's name. Tom Wilkinson's in there for Jeremy Renner, who I think is going to take over the franchise, perhaps. And let's see, I'm not sure of his name, but the game show host from Slumdog Millionaire is in there. He was very good, played his part very well. I can't remember the female lead's name. She was plenty gorgeous and did her job quite well. The big story for me is that this was directed by Brad Bird. Brad Bird, as far as I'm concerned, is a founding father of The Simpsons. He's not a creator of The Simpsons. He's not a head writer, but he was a go-to director, probably the head director for the golden era of The Simpsons, which you can tell I am a fan. So it gives me enormous pleasure to realize, one, that I followed this director's career since I was in the 5th grade, and to finally see him make this huge blockbuster breakthrough. His first foray into live-action filmmaking, which I think is, kind of amazing. But I think I think animation, one, I consider it high art, but you have to be a superb storyteller to make a good animated film. You have to know story and story structure and how a story flows, and editing. And action, to make a fine animated film, you have to be superb at pretty much every aspect of storytelling. And then visual storytelling at that as well. So I would really love to see more animation directors break into the live-action thing. I've always secretly wanted Hayao Miyazaki, the greatest living filmmaker, to, make a live-action film. Just it doesn't have to be great, but just to see what it's like. I'd really like to see what he can do. And I think Brad Bird has done a fantastic job. Again, he started out at The Simpsons, and maybe not started out at The Simpsons, but that's the first time that I knew of him, was at The Simpsons. Again, he directed many of the golden era classic episodes of The Simpsons. He then, I believe his first feature was The Iron Giant, which I own on DVD. I think it's fantastic. Watched that a lot in college. A lot of people complain that it's kind of a ripoff of My Neighbor Totoro. That's fine by me. If you have to imitate or steal, you might as well imitate or steal from greatness. I thought The Iron Giant was amazing. He also did The Incredibles, which probably people consider to be his best film. He also did Ratatouille. Both of those films were for Pixar. I think Iron Giant was for DreamWorks, but I'm not for certain. Anywho, Brad Bird nails it, and he has that typical Brad Bird, style. It's just action that's well captured, intelligent. You can see and understand everything that's going on, and it all has this edge of suspense. Everything had this edge of suspense, and this, I can't remember the name for it, but kind of, I call it a mousetrap, contraption, where one thing leads to another, kind of like a domino, but it has a certain name, like that. Who was it? The OK Go video. Anyway, every scene has this element of something leading to another problem. It just is like this succession of errors that have to accumulate or culminate with with the saving of the world, and it's all done with humor. Again, I'll go back to The Simpsons. He cut his teeth on The Simpsons, and I even watched the commentaries on The Simpsons. But if you listen to the commentary of The Simpsons, they talk about how much Brad Bird even influenced the writer's room and say, well, I think we need to make this beat a little bit longer. So I think Brad Bird operates at another level. I'm very excited to appreciate Brad Bird. Everything has this level of humor to where you want to laugh and giggle at the same time that you are sitting on the edge of your seat or blown back into the back of your seat with your eyes wide open. I guess that's what I've noticed about myself most of all during this film, is how I never could sit still. I had to be, moving around. This is just what the film did to me. I never once was I don't think I ever rested my head just because it was intense. It was a go, go, go for, the entire time. Again, I was on the edge of my seat, just leaning on the seat in front of me. And all the way back, just trying to take in everything. And then just shifting around constantly, just agitated. But it was all through sheer fun. I thought it looked really good. I mean, this is a spy action, unstoppable human machines, James Bond type of thing. So you've got your technology, you've got your impossibly fancy, I don't even know how to describe them, cars, that they look like they're from the future. You've got gorgeous women who, are sexy and use that sex appeal to, fool and trick. You've just got everything. If you're a fan of the action spy genre, this is a tremendous success. I couldn't recommend it higher, or more high, more highly. really, I thought all the performances were great. I think Tom Cruise is insane. I think he's out of his mind, but I think that makes him a tremendous artist. He also produced this, as did Bad Robot, I guess, therefore J.J. Abrams. But he's fantastic. Tom Cruise never really delivers a bad performance. He's maybe in bad movies, but he really commits. He commits, and he really nails it here. Here he's, fantastic. And just the other day I caught like half of Tropic Thunder on cable, and man, he's amazing in that too. But Tom Cruise, yeah, sure, out of his mind probably, but if you're a good artist, you're out of your mind. I mean, let's face it. Edgar Wright does that Edgar Wright thing. He's funny. I hope I have his name right. I'm maybe using his partner's name. Am I Simon? It's Simon Pegg or Edgar Wright. Simon Pegg. Simon Pegg does that Simon Pegg thing, and he does very good. And for a while, I thought he would be stuck in this like little buddy type, but he does show some badassery. Jeremy Renner, always intense, does a good job, trying not to be too more intense than Tom Cruise, because how is it possible to be more intense than Tom Cruise? I don't think it is. So I think he knows that, dials it back a bit, except when he needs to. Again, I think that I read that he's going to take over the franchise, but I'm not sure. He did very good here. All of the acting, very good. Tom Wilkinson, for as brief as he was in it, is always good. He's Tom Wilkinson. Yeah, I mean, all the acting, very, nail on the head, I'd say. Really, I think everything nail on the head. Get to go around the world, see sights. I've always enjoyed that. Film is a vicarious experience. And I cannot afford to travel, so I will probably, hopefully I will, but probably not get to Dubai in my lifetime. But at least I could watch this movie and see some of the architecture and beauty of Dubai. This features the world's tallest building in an amazing action sequence. I just learned that the film was shot in IMAX, which I was not aware of, so I do plan on seeing it again. In IMAX, so I can see it as it was intended. And I can't wait for that scene in IMAX, because just seeing it on a regular screen, and a smaller regular screen at that, kind of gave me vertigo. So I really can't wait to watch that. It's probably, that whole scene on the tower is probably one of the best scenes of the year. And again, it's all, I wish I could remember something like a Higard or something like that. Heisengard, I don't know what it is. But again, one thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. And that's, the entire film is that. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes of that. And then all of a sudden there's like this release at the end. And you're like, can I finally relax? And I realized that in that moment when I was asking if I could finally relax, I didn't want to. I wanted it to keep going. I didn't want it to end. So I can't think of a more tremendous compliment than I did not want the movie to end. So really that's it. I applaud Brad Bird. I think the man is brilliant. Again, I've been watching him since I was a small little big boy. And I can't wait to see what he's going to do next. If he wants to go back to animation, that's fine. But I hope he does, but I think that he's definitely branched out, and we're going to see lots and lots more of him. So that's Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, and I would call it a solid 9. Thrilling entertainment. Thank you.